If you were gone, senpai, I will save the game. Okay, we have an actual choice. Again, the way it's set up is kind of weird, though. I wish the whole Rei Nayakashi thing just, like, did it happen, to be honest? Or, like, the way we learn about the whole supernatural stuff was more subtle than literally a giant shark just telling us everything. Because that's, like, I feel like that's like a sin, for, like, storytelling. Just to have some random character go like, hey, by the way, this is how the plot works, I'm going to explain everything to the characters so that we can have some kind of, like, contrived narrative involving the relationships of the characters. It's like, feels weird. Anyway, but it seems like we have a choice now. So, basically she's asking, do we want her around? Like, is it okay to let her go back to her supposedly original world and then live on? Or do we say they're actually very attached to her and probably that will lead to some consequences? I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll just say we'll live on. Yeah, whatever. We're just gonna friend zone her, I guess, or like, Ayakashi zone her. I don't know. I'll somehow manage. I don't know if I'll live a good life, but at least survive. While occasionally remembering you. Remembering. Yes, not forgetting. Even if you were gone, I'm sure I'll be able to live on thanks to you. I'll never forget you. So don't worry, I'll be fine. You won't forget? She mutters quietly, then she laughs, troubled. I see. Haruya-kun is strong. Strong? Yes, strong. She lowers her face slightly and seems to be thinking about something. Before long, she looks up again. Are you free tomorrow after school? I'm at a loss on how to answer. I certainly don't have any plans, but it's doubtful whether I'll live to face tomorrow. It's doubtful. I'm free, but I'm just hoping to get through today. What's up with that? Do you have accumulated schoolwork to do? Oh, something like that. Senpai doesn't seem to notice that my responses are vague. Then, Haruya-kun, please finish your homework before tomorrow. I've been feeling a little tired lately, so I'm gonna go home now and rest. After we're both in perfect condition, why don't we head out to the station? Do you want to make memories before graduating? It feels a little hasty. What does that mean? It's important to seize the day. A haste makes waste. No, I want to hurry. The time I can spend wearing a uniform is short compared to the rest of my life. She picks up her bag and walks towards the exit. So, I'll be going home now. What about you? After a moment of hesitation, I answer. I'll stay a little longer. Okay, see you tomorrow. Senpai, I hope you get some rest today. Of course, tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Saying that, she left. I take a deep breath and exhaled slowly. If my breath had a color, it would be a horribly cloudy and dark one. I feel like I just said things I didn't mean, but to begin with, I'm not a strong person. In this school life I haven't fully adapted to yet, this club room is without a doubt the place I belong, and Senpai is my main conversation partner. The reason why I go out of my way to visit the club room every day is an expectation that she'll be there. If I lose someone who means this much to me, will I really be able to bear it? I'm not sure, but I believe I had no choice but to answer that I can do it. Otherwise, she won't be able to graduate. She probably has no choice but to go back to where she came from. And when the time comes, I must not be the reason she can't take that step. That's why I must hide my feelings. However, I wasn't the only lie in our conversation. Hearing the phrase making memories before graduation, we both undoubtedly thought of the hydrangea garden we visited the other day. As if we had a pact, neither of us said anything about it. It's a memory that created a rift in our relationship, so we wanted to bury it in silence. That way, from the time we first met until the time we parted, our time together would have no flaws. There would indeed be some shaky moments, but overall, it would take the shape of a neat, clean line. I'm sure that Senpai, who isn't aware of the Rei Ayakashi approaching me, is thinking that. For this reason, I went along with her script. I have a bad habit of looking back on conversations. I pick up my bag. This is just my guess, but after school tomorrow, she'll go out with me for a last time, and then she'll return to her original world. Tonight, that's what I'll tell the Rei Ayakashi. He came to bring her back, and now he can save the trouble of setting traps. They can reconcile. For the time being, this will settle the matter. I think I've created a nice storyline where everything falls into place. Nobody can complain about this. Yes, nobody. Okay. With the club room behind me, I remember. Is it even possible for you to leave? You love our leisure club. I have to graduate. That's not an answer. Wrong. She never answered in the first place. No. Not answering is an answer in itself. My feet stop. I start walking again. I said I could live on without her. Based on my reply, we both moved accordingly. Even though I didn't freely choose the answer, it will determine my future. As if it will cause like a branch in the visual novel and, affect the outcome of the ending. I wanted to end well. To achieve that, tonight's rain is the final hurdle I must overcome. You're on time. Amidst the pattering rain, the solemn voice of the monstrous shark resounds. From under the umbrella, I watched the grotesque mouth move. Again, why are we listening to this giant shark again? Supposedly we're afraid of it, but why can't we just ghost it, Why can't we simply ghost it? Again, it's just so sudden that we just listen to this giant dumb shark. I don't know. Anyway, the answer you have reached. Will you please let me know? I nod and take a deep breath in the moist night air. My heart is about to explode. A sickening chill runs down my spine, and I fear I could lose my mind at any moment. Even though I wish I could put off answering forever, I make up my mind and speak out. I have no intention of cooperating with you, because there's no need to do that in the first place. Oh? I cannot seem to figure out what you mean. My apologies, but could you explain yourself in a manner that even a dullard such as myself can understand? He's both polite and rude. At a first glance, you would think he treats others like equals, but in reality, he's overbearing and provoking. I had a faint impression of his condescending attitude when we first met, but now it reaches peak. I'm sure the Rei Ayakashi sees me as a foolish human being. My whole body feels so oppressed my skin tingles, but I try my best to speak calmly. It's simple. There's no need to lure senpai out and bring her back. She'll probably come to you instead. Today I talked to her at school. Although she didn't directly tell me, she mentioned graduating from school and leaving this place. I believe she set the time limit for her return to tomorrow. So, could you at least wait until then? She'll surely come back to your world. You don't have to kill me because she wouldn't obey the order to come back. She must have finally made up her mind. Or finally made up his mind? I think that's a typo. So, why don't you go back to where you came from and listen to her side of the story? The sound of rain replaces my voice. Like a rock protruding from the surface of the water, the Rei Ayakashi stares at me without moving his eyeballs and sinks to the ground for a few seconds. When he resurfaces, he begins to speak slowly, as if to comment on my opinion. Well, there are various things from your story that bother me, but I shall put that aside for now. I really hate his way of speaking. However, there's a serious mistake in your statements that I cannot overlook. A mistake? Where? You seem to have misunderstood. But the reason I've come to this world is not to bring back Yuki no Akabane. By order of my master, I have come to kill Yukine Akabane. She continuously refused her orders to return, so I said I would kill her for that reason. However, that does not mean I won't be killing her even if she does return. Well, that's just BS. Why? Aren't you two from the same place? Sure. She's of my same kin, but it's precisely because she's a disgrace to our entire species that she must be killed. Revealing his true nature, the shark monster bares his teeth and becomes furious. I'm so overwhelmed that I cannot move. How dare mere child of man speak so insolently? Did you even think of trying to convince me for Yukino's sake? With a big splash of water, the figure of the Rei Ayakashi disappears before my eyes. That's when I come to my senses and look around, searching where he's gone. Feeling an unbearable pressure overhead, I instinctively put down my umbrella and look up at the sky. Darkness. A cozy darkness. An endlessly deep darkness spreads behind the pure white teeth. I should have done this since the beginning. I heard the muffled sound of splashing water. My consciousness returns to the darkness. I can hear the rain. Arya Shitaji is here. The voice of the rain Ayakashi shakes my whole body, and I hurriedly stand up with a jump. I look around my surroundings even though I feel like collapsing due to my hazy consciousness. Darkness all around, I can't see the shark. It looks like you just woke up. His deep, echoing voice makes my body numb. I can feel his voice enveloping my whole body, as well as a lukewarm feeling of a wobbly and swaying ground. I am vaguely able to guess my situation. Did we get vored? I feel like we got vored. I was expecting that we got eaten and just die, but apparently we got vored. I'm inside the rain Ayakashi's mouth. As my eyes adjust to the darkness, I notice a row of majestic teeth laying on top and bottom of my vision. In the shadow I can see from within his mouth is, "This guy's life is precious to you, isn't it? Then I'll trade it for yours. Do you understand? Yukino Akabane? Or rather, Wing Ayakashi. Kabane Shirayuki Hime, the deathly ring-winged deity." What's his names? His long names. Overly long names. Senpai. Don't be noisy. When I even involuntarily lean forward and shout, my feet begin to tilt. The rain Ayakashi has lifted the tip of his tongue. Arya-kun. Don't you move, Shirayuki. Don't you move, Shirayuki Hime. For a moment I feel the illusion of my body floating up at the rain Ayakashi's angry voice. I somehow manage to avoid falling into the back of his throat, and the tongue finally regains its original flatness. Hey, Fukai, do you really think that would work against me? Don't you know who I am? Of course I do. If I fight you head on, my odds of winning are slim. Okay, suddenly this turns into a shonen anime, I feel like. This is like a battle anime now. That's the direction it's going towards, I feel like. That's why I decided on this approach. Apparently, you seem to have a deep bond with this guy. Even if you take a hostage, it'll be easy for me to overwhelm you and recapture him, isn't that right? Surely it'd be really easy, but I can crush this guy in an instant it takes for you to do so. And even if I die, there's still plenty of others who will take over after me. I'm nothing more than the vanguard. My life is being exchanged now. It doesn't feel real. A story about a world I don't know about, and Senpai's stern voice that I hear for the first time, for the first time all? Strange. Senpai's stern voice that I hear for the first time, they seem like lies. Are you willing to die? I'm here to fulfill my master's mission. To do so, my life and death are trivial matters. Rather, surviving despite failing my lord's mission would be the real death. My father sure is loved by his pet fish. One can't fight against blood. Is that the reason you too are quite admired by this guy here? The rain Ayakashi opens his mouth, and thanks to that I see better the scenery outside. In the middle of the rain and darkness, I see hints of the white light of the moon. The raindrops scattered on the trees and plants reflect the moonlight. The sight of the moon and raindrops drawing the colors of flowers in the darkness is a sight to behold. It's the hydrangea garden. An open space surrounded by flowers and plants. In its center, a familiar figure stands. You're my senpai, right? Arya-kun. In a complete change from before, her voice is terribly feeble. This seems to be the right moment for questions. Seeing a weakness in her, the rain Ayakashi decides to attack. Arya, is there anything you want to ask her? I'm sure there's a lot you want to know. For now, I'll allow you to say a few words. Am I not allowed to speak without his permission? Until now, it seems I didn't even have that right. I can vaguely read his mood. The arrogance of the rain shark is something to be admired. And so is his shrewdness. Well, he probably wants this for me to denounce her. That must be the motive behind cornering her like that. As long as I can see through his calculations, I can't let myself be caught up in the rain Ayakashi's plots. The pale moonlight shines on Senpai. I can see her biting her lip and casting her eyes down. I can't hurt her. However, I don't really have a clue what to say. Sorry, Haruhi-kun. She speaks up first. I'm taken aback. I thought she was waiting for me to say something. I know I should have told you first. I'm sure there are many things you want to ask me. First of all, what the raid Ayakashi said is all true. I'm not human, and it's true that I attacked people. I've been hiding my identity. That's how I deceived you. I'm sorry. I don't know how to face you. She says bitterly, confessing one's guilt must be painful. But honestly, it's maybe she has strayed from the right path, but I don't really care about that anymore. I don't want to play the role of an executioner like the Rei Nayakashi hopes I will, the one who can decree a sin as a judge. But I'm just a kohai of my senpai. And now as her kohai, what I should say is... No, I was the one who deceived you. I really don't want to be away from you. I'm not a strong person. Senpai, even if you aren't that confident, right? You actually don't want to go home, right? She'd made up her mind to return, so I intended to give her a little push. But didn't these words of mine plunge her into the depths of darkness? Why'd you come to this world, senpai? Why'd you enroll in our high school? Without waiting for a reply, I kept pressing for answers. With a momentary sound of rain in between, she starts talking. I was raised by my father, like some sort of pet. I was confined in a room that was spacious but empty, had no windows, was like a bug cage. I spent my time without meeting anyone. That's why I wanted to get involved with someone, so I forced myself to come here. But it was difficult. Just getting to meet people wasn't my goal. I wanted real bonds. I couldn't do it very well. Maybe it's because I'm not human after all. The deadline was approaching, so I thought I'd give up and just go home. Meeting you just before the deadline made me want to stay here a little longer. I've harmed many people. I lost count of how many people I've troubled and hurt. My guilt is crushing me. In the end, even you are in danger of losing your life. I really am no good. It's only right that I should disappear. That's not true. I always thought you were a great person. It's fun to get involved with people when it all goes well, but when things go south and you make mistakes, it's really painful, isn't it? Even when faced with setbacks, you've been trying to get involved with people, and that's amazing. You kept trying again and again. You should be proud, despite, murdering a bunch of people. Don't worry about it. The strong person is you, not me. Enough. Don't you hate her? My eardrums about to burst from the anger of the Rei Nayakashi. He must be frustrated that things aren't going the way he wanted them to. But thanks to him, I've been able to say what I wanted to say. That's all I can do. She closes her eyes while listening to my words, and before long, after a pause as if she's trying to grasp the meaning of my words, she opens her mouth. Thank you. Her hand glows white. Her fingertips run along the nape of her neck. Senpai, all of the things you just said, they're my salvation. I can see it. Shining white fingertips engrave streaks of light on her body. White light overflows from the cracks as if a dam had been bust open. Okay, really, it's just a shonen anime now. Anyway, that's the future I can see in my own eyes. The long-awaited moment has arrived. She shows recognition. It's time to fulfill her wish. I managed an unexpected escape from the shark's mouth. The Rei Nayakashi's momentary lapse of concentration is probably the only reason a mere human like me can escape from him. As I run through the white grass, I shout her name. I won't let you do that. But I'm only human after all. Even if I can outsmart a monster for a moment, I can't take victory home. You bastard. The Rei Nayakashi immediately chases after me. Just before being eaten by a shark, I managed to say it. I want you to live. As a human, or rather as a kohai, I was able to at least say that much. Okay, I thought oh no, let's see. The shark's body is filled with black water. I'm drifting inside the Rei Nayakashi as if in a violently flowing night sky. Yeah, I thought she was going to transform. They mentioned something about like white energy. She was about to go Super Saiyan. I don't know. I thought that was the direction it was going, but no, we kind of got out of the mouth, but then got caught again. It's like what? Not much progress. There isn't enough oxygen. My consciousness becomes vague. It's the sensation of drowning or suffocating. My thoughts become faint. What's the meaning of my words? What kind of meaning can it have for her to be told to live? I don't know. The water is violently swirling. If the shark hasn't crushed me, does he still want to use me as a hostage? I don't know. I don't understand anything. In the midst of suffocation, my consciousness begins to be dyed, the feeling of floating out of place. I see something in the darkness. It's a white light. It must be Senpai's hand. I feel it clearly in the dark. It's out of sight. She grabs my body and pulls me up. Here you go. Yeah, she transformed into like a weird butterfly thing. I don't know. I didn't realize this was the direction the game. I was saying game. Oh, the visual novel. Anyway, I didn't realize it was the visual novel, or rather the story that it was going. You know, it's like you really like, I don't know, like a shonen anime. You know, it's like, I don't know, a little bit contrived and like based on like magical powers. You know, I don't know. My body floats in the air or flying in the sky. You're a senpai, right? It's like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like Digimon. You know, it's I don't know. It's like it starts off like somewhat mysterious, but like it just turns into like magic battle. You know, where monsters just fight each other. It's what it is. You know, that's how it feels like. I ask, gasping for breath. I can't hide my surprise at the figure of the person who pulled me up. Long hair, white like moonlight, a jet black body with scarlet wings, and an expressionless face. A beautiful and extraordinary figure, an existence unknown to our world. Yeah, I'm your senpai, Haryukin. The voice that answers me is definitely hers. Okay, big mouth. Curse you bastards! He shouts angrily and chases after us. Black water is gushing out from one end of his back, and it looks like he's been pierced. Senpai stops in the air while holding me and stretches out her hand towards the Rain Ayakashi. Rain Ayakashi, you said you're risking your life to fulfill my father's orders. Then I would bet my life here as well. Her fingertips glow white, drawing a wall between us and the Rain Ayakashi. Seeing that the shark is effectively blocked by the wall and crashes to the ground, she slides her fingertips onto her chest in a relieved gesture. Senpai, I'm alright, don't worry. There's a thin incision in her chest. Then, as if her interior was filled with light, a dazzling beam of light overflows from the cut of her torso. The light bursts out as if to split the night sky, but its power gradually weakens. Eventually, it disappears as if were an eye closing its eyes? An eye closing its eyes? Anyway. Shiroyuki Hime, what are you? I returned the lifespan I stole into the sky. Now I won't be able to stay in this world for long. I'll return to our original world. Neither Rain Ayakashi nor I seem to follow. However, she continues regardless. Rain Ayakashi, your job here is no more. Can you go home first and prepare for when I come? Are you insane? Even if you return now, you won't be spared. I originally intended to kill you, so it's probably too late now. Rest assured, I don't have time or the strength left to attack people anymore. Saying so, she descends to the ground. It is so silent that the fight from a moment ago seems like a lie. The battle is over. The Rain Ayakashi is stunned, but eventually grits his teeth and mutters something. It sounds like a throwaway line, but I can't catch it. Before parting, he glares at me and says, Haruya Shitaji. Yes? I'm returning this. I can't take this filthy thing home with me. Saying that, he spits out the umbrella I was holding when we were at my home. It's thrown open and bounces on the ground. Okay. I mean, that was the original plan anyway, right? To like, for her to go home, even though the shark guy was like, he was gonna kill her anyway, but like, no. Leaving the umbrella as a souvenir, he sinks into the earth. Silence. I can hear the rain. Before I know it, Senpai has returned to her human form. For a while, we stand side by side. My mind isn't working properly. An empty hydrangea garden. I look down to the ground. She has her eyes raised at the distant night sky. We're drenched in the rain, both silent. When I turn around to look at her, she gently hugs me. Surprised and confused, I hug her back. Both of us are soaking wet, and that's why her warmth is transmitted to my skin. Haruya-kun. Yes? I'm so glad. Yes, me too. Yes. I'm glad, senpai. We're doing that for a while now, then we separate and look at each other. We're soaking wet. We match. I ask her while I pick up the umbrella the Rain Ayakashi spat out. So what do we do now? Yes, what should I do? Whatever you decide, I'll be with you. Of course, because you're my kohai. This is right. That's exactly it. This amount of distance is just right for a relationship. But now, you won't be able to go home unless we leave the hydrangea garden. And that'll be a problem. I know. My drenched senpai comes under the umbrella I'm holding up and she says, let's go home together. Under a shared umbrella. Yes, let's do that. Also soaking wet, that's my reply. She changes her appearance into her Ayakashi form, lightly hugging me, Her red rings glitter in the dark. You just do that. I don't know. Red wings melt into the darkness and we take off into the sky, and after a short night flight we land. We're at our high school in front of the already closed school gate. They're about to return this journey that seemed long even though it was fleeting. Through the dark, she looks at the school building from the school gate. I sit next to her, staring at her face. She's graduating, I realize. Sorry I made you wait. Let's go. Are you ready? Yes. She nods. We must get going. We turn our backs to the school building. I do it a little faster than Senpai, who's still lingering. And so we start our final trip back home. You know, it's funny, yeah, we had to fly all the way here just to, like, walk home. Okay. How was it? High school life? I have a lot of regrets, but looking back, I think it wasn't bad. Do you have a favorite event? I do. Cultural and sports festivals are really good. They're lively, and just being there is a lot of fun. Can you do sports? I wonder if I can. Both my body and my senses are different from yours. Oh, that's kind of unfair. My body is a pretty short-lived one, so forgive me for that. What about you? Not really. I'm an indoor person. I was an indoor Ayakashi. Senpai, how is life in your original world? Life there isn't very good. Like being put inside a bug cage, and you said that like 3 times already. We live in a confined space and every day follows a fixed procedure. The most valuable thing for my family is to ensure the routine isn't interrupted. It'd be pointless to argue about the pros and cons of that. It simply doesn't suit me. I really am sorry for being such a lacking daughter. I don't think you have the right to meddle with your family matters, but it's not that you're lacking, it's just not fitting for you. That's why you came here. And there must be others who like this kind of curiosity and courage as well. Your words aren't too convincing. Don't get carried away, can't I? Actually, I don't really mind. As I was saying, I'm sure there are people in your world who can appreciate and accept you. Although I don't know much about that world, so I'm sorry if I said something off the mark. No, I won't. Thank you. Perhaps I came here without knowing much about my own world. I want to find a better way to live. What about you? What kind of life will you live after I leave? That, well, I can't imagine. Would I still participate in the club even if you're gone? I think I'll be bored. Honestly, it doesn't feel real. To me, it's like tomorrow you'll still show up at the club room like usual. But I won't be coming back. I won't? Right. That's why the present is the most important to me. Hey, Haruyu-kun. Yes? I wanted you to call me by my name. It was Kabane? No, not that one. Yukino-san. Oh wow. What's with that reaction? Nothing. It's just an amazing feeling. I wish you would call me by name sooner. It's embarrassing though, so maybe not. Or rather, Haruyu-kun, you don't have what it takes. I'm your senpai, so I can tell. You won't be able to keep it up for even half an hour. You can only hold back the embarrassment now because I'm about to leave. Oh, but I'm always very talkative. Maybe I'll become even more talkative when I call by name. Yukino-san. Yes? Please don't leave. I'm sorry. I'm being selfish. Please forget it. No, I won't. Or, yeah, how do you said that? Yeah. No, I won't. I'll never forget you said that. For the rest of my life. Yes, for a lifetime. Hey, Haruyu-kun. Let me say one last thing. What is it? Perhaps you're a little timid when it comes to speaking out. However, I want you to know that your words can be of help to someone. I hope you won't forget about that. Thank you. I'll never forget for the rest of my life. For the rest of your life, huh? Yeah, I'm glad. Senpai. What? Can we meet again? I want to, but I can't say more than that. Is that so? Oh, well, yes. Perhaps I'll come again on a rainy day. On a rainy day? I was under the impression that happy things like reunions happen on sunny days. Well, it's fine if it's sunny, but we're parting ways on a rainy day, so we should meet again on a rainy day too, as a continuation of today. Well, that's nice. Well, we'll meet again. Meet again. Maybe one day, far into the future. Our relationship will continue forever though, and that's for sure. I should remember to bring an umbrella. No need. It's okay if you forget your umbrella again, because I'll definitely bring one to pick you up. Alright, okay. I mean, it's supposed to be tragic and everything. And by the way, I'm gonna brush over the fact that she's killed multiple people. By the way, we're not gonna like worry about that, I guess. Don't worry about it. And also the fact that when she goes home, she's technically like a wanted criminal, and her dad wants her dead or something. That's what the shark guy said. I don't know. Even though the initial solution was, we were saying that she was gonna return home without a fight. But then the shark guy was like, no, actually, I want to kill her because we need to kill her. I was like, but then she says, actually, I'll just return home. And then the shark guy's like, okay. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Anyway, I turn around the sound of the pouring rain. Absent. The person who should have been here, she isn't any longer. The hand who was holding the umbrella is gone. For a while, the cold rain hits me. Senpai once said that she likes walking in the rain. I can understand that feeling a little bit now. I also finally understand her a little. Just a little bit. Before long, along with the rain, I begin to walk home alone. I look up at the sky while getting wet in the rain. The night is far away. The night is so far away that I feel like I can almost touch it. Since then, the damage caused by the murder case has come to a sudden stop. According to police investigation, the victims all had criminal records, had bad behavior, or were in trouble with someone the day they were killed. Okay, well, just by the way, she's totally a good person. She only kills other killers, I guess. I don't know. All right, well, I guess that kind of justifies it. It's still kind of like, vigilantism, so I don't know about that, but whatever. So yeah, she's not as bad. She only kills people who deserve it, right? It's fine. Don't worry about it. For the time being, the police are investigating the murders under the assumption that they were the work of someone acting like a vigilante. I'm not going to say anything about this. It's a fair assessment of the perpetrator. Everything that left a trace of her has disappeared. It disappeared as if she never existed. I go to the club room and she's not there. Her seat is empty. Even the assumptions and perceptions about her have been rewritten, and nobody remembers her. The photo of her I took at the hydrangea garden that day had disappeared from my smartphone. Memories are the only thing that retains any vestiges of my senpai. Everything and anything that left her traces have been lost. And even my memories are gradually washed away by the rain, becoming faint, thin, and vague. Even if I write down her name on a piece of paper so that I won't forget it, the next day it'll be blank. Even written memories are lost. I'm the one who spent most of my time with senpai. There's no way I wouldn't be affected by the law of coherence. However, I was still trying to resist. But then I lost track of what I was fighting against. I forgot that I was even fighting. And the world went back to normal. With one exception. At some point, I have photos of my smartphone that I didn't remember taking. At first glance, it looks like a cheap prank, but I don't know why I would be saving such an image. I don't even remember the other person's name. But seeing that name makes me feel nostalgic. It even makes me cry when I say it out loud. Why? This person must have been very important to me. No, even now, she's the most important person to me. I'm sure I'm alive thanks to this person. I'm living for her. Okay, is that it? And then ending credits, I guess, I'm assuming. Okay, I mean, I guess it's meant to be like tragic and whatnot. I understand the concept, but I feel like it's muddled with the whole supernatural stuff, especially the shark guy. Why did the shark guy just suddenly appear? Also, this CG I never got. But yeah, the shark monster just showing up. I don't know. I feel like it would be like a small change, but I feel like the shark dude appearing not as a literal giant shark, like a photorealistic shark, to me that's just silly. Like maybe as like a person, it could be interesting if it just appeared like as a human form. Then maybe I would actually be more intimidated actually, because it'd be like a person, right? Like maybe like a mafia type person, I don't know. Like being threatened by a giant shark just feels so unbelievable that it's just silly. But being threatened by like a humanoid person, then at least it'd be grounded in some realism, so that it wouldn't be so crazy. I feel like that would be the biggest change I would make. And otherwise, the fact that it gave so much exposition right in the middle of the story just takes away all the mystery, I feel like, as well. I don't know. Anyway, everything's in color, by the way. With that said, please submit your work to the club magazine. Alright. With summer vacation just around the corner, the president and I are having a meeting about this year's last club magazine. Well then, that's it. President. I involuntarily call out to the president while she's about to leave the club room. Yes? I feel embarrassed to say something like this again, but since I've already stopped her, I have a little choice but to go ahead with it. President, this is the last club magazine of the year. That's right. It's just, I'm gonna miss you in the club. The president blinks. We look at each other in a strange atmosphere for a while, but then she bursts into laughter and says, You'll be lonely, you say, even though I barely showed my face. It's not like you didn't come at all either. Besides, two of us have been supporting this club since spring. Is it such a big deal? I don't remember spending any energy here. Doesn't that mean it was a comfortable place? She laughs. I laugh a little too. She averts her eyes for a moment and looks hesitant. But in the end, she can't hold back and ends up laughing. Oh, it can't be helped. I have to graduate. You'll be alone next year. Only if nobody else joins. How to say it? I wouldn't have high hopes, but I'm rooting for you. You don't think it can happen? Being negative is a bad habit of mine, and it's not easy for people to get out of their habits. She laughs embarrassedly. She then opens the door of the club room and turns around one last time. But, well, thank you. Take care. After saying that, she leaves the room. In the room where I'm alone, I open the window. The breeze and light of July enter the club room. The outside world is bright and bathed in sunlight, and the colors that fly in are vivid to the eye. The scenery seen from the window of this club room will change little by little with the passing of time and seasons. And that's the moment I suddenly come up with. Yes, that's it. Let's write about windows in the club magazine. Anything is fine, whether it's a novel or an essay about windows. So I write about windows. I don't remember what, but there's one thing that stuck to my mind. Of a day when someone opened the window I wanted to open. I can't imagine what it'd be like in that situation. Seems like an ordinary daily gesture. However, the fact that such a thing happened is strangely burned in my heart. So this is it. I should leave notice somewhere in the world that such a thing happened. That's what I feel. I'll never forget. I think that as I lean out the window. I like being like this. I take my time to look at the distant scenery outside. And the club room, the exact room I'm in right now. At first it felt cramped, but now I can say with confidence, I like this room. It's small but has a big window, and it's full of my precious things in time. Yes, I like this room. Alright, oh, and then it cuts to the main menu. Alright, there you go. I guess that's an ending. Again, I mean, I get it, the general concept, and I do like generally how the story went. You know, I kind of like how it's like a tragic kind of story, which is, you know, I actually prefer that. I don't like cheesy happy endings. I like tragic endings. So it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I do feel like two things definitely. Yeah, again, the supernatural elements are just way too on the nose. Like it almost becomes just kind of silly to me. It's like the typical cliche of like, you know, strong anime girl that can like, you know, have magic powers or whatever. Like Fate Stay Night and Shaku no Shana comes to mind. I don't know. It's just so cliche, I feel like. And it's like the main protagonist is like, I'm just a dude. I have a crush on the main girl, and that's kind of it. That's my entire personality. Lol. I don't know. That's how I feel about it a little bit. But I don't know. It's not too bad. It's just a little, I don't know, a little bit too cliche, I feel like. A little bit. Anyway, let's see here. Well, technically there's, I think, a different ending. I don't know if it's a bad ending. I mean, this was like, I think it's a good ending actually, but what happens if I say something different? You know, the only choice that we have is, I believe, here, so I guess we would do something different. Let's see. Alright, so we're back all the way here. I guess let's see what happens if we answer her question in a different way. So instead of saying, I will live on, let's say, I don't want that, even if it were to kill me. It's very direct. You know, the fact that she's leaving or whatever. Just thinking about it is painful. I don't like it. I'm sorry for making things difficult, but if you're going to disappear after graduating anyway, I might as well say it. It may be unsightly, it may be pathetic, but that's my honest answer. At least in this situation, I won't be able to say I couldn't express my real feelings. Even if I'm unskillful, I don't care. I'll say it even if clumsily. That's why I don't want that. Even if it were to kill me. If I don't speak up now, I know I'll regret it for the rest of my life. She widens her eyes. Is my answer really that surprising? There was a stunned silence for a while, whether it was due to a loss for words or confusion. After a few moments of silence, as if time had stopped, she asks me back. Even if you were to die. Even if you were to die. Do you know what you're saying? I think those words carry a lot of weight. Well, to me, this isn't something you could say just because you got carried away by the moment. But I do mean it. My life is centered around school. My daily life and my relationships are all around school. I think everyone's like that during high school. That's why club activities are the center of my school life. I come to school every day for club activities and skip class. And for me, the center of the club is senpai. I come to the club room every day to see you. My heart shrinks. I feel like I just said something very important. Now that I put it into words, it's irreversible. It's shaking the very foundation of who I've been until now. This thought suddenly comes to my heart, and I can't continue my words. The sound of rain echoes in my ears. I've suddenly forgotten how to breathe. I can't look at her face, and instead drop my eyes at her school shoes. School shoes? Got it. I look up at her voice. She's looking straight at me with dark, deep, unfathomable eyes. Thanks, Haruya-kun. I understand how you feel. It's alright if you die, right? A note of caution, I nod. I don't know what comes next. I hate the future. The amount of time spent in high school may seem small when compared to life as a whole. However, I'm living as a high school student right now. For me, the present is everything. The club room with senpai is the center of my world. I don't care if I'm called abnormal or immature. Will I ever be able to find something in my life that I can feel I can give my all to? Will I be able to do that as an adult? Do such things exist in everyone's life? So I just nod. I look into her eyes and nod. Yes. At first she nods mysteriously, but her movements become gradually lighter. As if she's been possessed, the curse has finally been lifted. Her mouth relaxes. After returning to normal, she asks, Say, there's something that worries me a little. Eh? Haruya-kun, you said you don't want me to suddenly disappear, but I never mentioned disappearing. I'm just saying that I have to graduate someday too. Are you misunderstanding something, or do you think I was implying I'm transferring to another school? A smile appears on her lips. I don't know what she's thinking, but I can tell she's trying to find out how much I know. I thought you would disappear because it's raining. What's up with that? That makes no sense. Are you malfunctioning or something? Come on now. I'm just imitating your usual behavior. How rude. He must have already figured it out. In order not to get caught by the Rain Ayakashi, we must slip hidden meanings into our everyday conversation. A code, or a metaphor. It very much feels like a literature club thing to do. It looks like it's gonna rain tonight. What a problem. You only say that because you know me well. Well, little. You can't imitate someone you don't know. She nods and huffs. Can I call you tonight? Sure. Let's talk about the future. She looks at the rain through the window. I don't know what will happen from now on, but right now I'm happy. Haruya-kun. Yes. Do you like the rain? I hate this rain. I thought so. Dark rain clouds fill the sky far into the distance. Will I ever see a clear sky again? Rain. Darkness. The time is 10 o'clock p.m., exactly 1 hour before the time set by the Rain Ayakashi. With my smartphone in my hand, I lean my elbows against the desk, and I fret over the situation. I can't think clearly. I'm very nervous, waiting for her call. Can't do anything. I'm worried about her, but I can't go check because the Rain Ayakashi would surely notice something. What are you planning, senpai? In a incoming call, my body jumps up. Hello? Haruya-kun, it's me. How are you holding up? I mean, didn't we meet in the club room just a few hours ago? Well, people change. It's such a short time. That's alright. People's hearts are freckle, right? Freckle? You mean fickle? I think that's a typo. Anyway, not knowing how to start correcting her, I remain silent. Then she continues. Oh, maybe that's intentional, actually. You know, I think maybe it's like a translation thing, actually. Maybe she used the wrong idiom in Japanese, and it's like the idea is that she's using the wrong idiom in English as well. Starting now, I'll show you proof. Haruya-kun, can you look at the sky? The sky? It'll be a once-in-a-lifetime sight. Don't miss it. I turn off the lights in the room just in case, and open the curtains in the window. Pitch black clouds merge with the darkness of the night, and only the sound of rain echoes in the midst of it. Are you ready? Yes, but what's going on? It's the end of everything. I'm breaking all the taboos now. Huh? Despite my confusion, the call is cut off. As if I'm staring blankly at the sky, the center of the sky begins to shine brightly. What's going on? Is she doing that? The light expands little by little. Just when I think it's about the size of the moon in the night sky, the light condenses at once and becomes a mere dot. I'm still watching the movements of the sky, then the moment begins. Is she is she activating rapture? From a point in the sky, a dazzling light spreads like a ring and runs through the whole sky. It's as if a star were exploding. At that moment, the night sky stars twinkle with glimmering stars, and a huge full moon illuminates the earth. Wait, I think I said that wrong. The night sky, I think that's a typo though. At that moment, the night sky starts to twinkle with glimmering stars, and then the huge moon. The sky clears, and the rain clouds and air are cleared. Senpai? An incoming call. I raise my voice as soon as I pick up. Did you do that? Indeed. It was quite beautiful, wasn't it? She replies carefreely while I'm overwhelmed by surprise, almost stunned. With this, even the rain Ayakashi can't chase after you. We can relax for a while. Is it okay for you to do this? It's not, but I don't care. I feel the same way you do. She feels the same. However, she and I seem to have a different kind of strength. Then, shall we meet? I'm coming to pick you up. Let's see. Your room had a window, didn't it? She keeps going as if nothing happened. I see. Is this the path that we've chosen? I take a deep breath. I need a moment to calm myself down. You're taking deep breaths. What, can't I? No, go ahead. Oh, I know. Can I take a deep breath too? Why are you asking me? There are people who get angry when I imitate it, right? I'm not like that. Please do as you wish. I hear a deep breath through the speaker. Making small talk calmed my heart a little. Maybe as my senpai, she was taking care of me. So, do you have any windows in your house? We do, like one would expect of an ordinary house. Is that so? Windows are something to be found in ordinary rooms after all. Sorry, let's get back to the topic. I'll head to your house and knock on your room window. Then I will wait in the front entrance, so please come see me when you're ready. Got it. Please close the curtains. I need to mentally prepare. I like it. We're coming closer one step at a time, giving each other time. Is that a great idea? I can hear her take a breath, then she says in a faintly trembling voice, I'll come in my true form, so don't be surprised. For some reason, those words make my heart beat fast. I also take a deep breath and reply, Yes, I'll be waiting. Then I'll be here right away. I hang up, I stand by the window and draw the curtains again. Through the gap, I can peep the night spreading far beyond the window. It spreads far and wide. The true form. Now, though we had agreed, I soon hear knocking at the window. I open the curtains, but there's no one outside. Only the darkness of the evening. I take a deep breath. Feelings of tension and exhilaration build up, and the area around the pit of my stomach seems close to bursting. This is the same feeling as when I was heading to the meeting place on the day we went to the hydrangea garden. I open the door of the room and stand in front of the mirror, wondering what to do with my belongings. Do I need a wallet in this case? I'm rushing and end up leaving the room with nothing. I think it's the most appropriate. I quietly pass through the dark corridor and carefully descend the stairs. Standing in front of the entrance door, I take a deep breath. That wasn't enough, so I squat down, holding my head in my hands, and I mutter, Senpai. I'm ready. I've made up my mind. I open the front door with a trembling hand. To my surprise, brah, oh no, she's hot. Senpai. There's something unhuman standing there. Yes, it could never be human, but it's too beautiful to be called a monster. It looks like a persona. This is what it looks like to me. It's a one-of-a-kind existence that seems to have nothing similar to the beings of this world. Senpai, that's you, right? Yes, it's me. Nice to meet you. Yukino Kabane is changed to the Wing Ayakashi, Kabane Shirayukihami, the Deathly Ring Wing Day. I don't know, it's weird. It's such a Chunibyo thing to say. Anyway, this is my real appearance and name. Her long white hair floats in the night breeze, just like the flow of a silvery river. red butterfly-like wings spread up behind her slender jet black body. And most of all, what catches my eye most is that she's a figure without a face. When I stare at her for a while, she smiles as if embarrassed. Wait, how can she smile if she has no face? I realize I've been watching too much, so I hurriedly avert my gaze. It's a little awkward, she's kind of naked, in a way. Surely I shouldn't have come, she says quietly. Do you hate having met me? That's not it, but it's true that I shouldn't have met you, nor should I have shown you this form. But now we have met and you're showing it to me. But that's a problem. Yeah, she sighs. The atmosphere of one, what's done is done, then she looks up at the sky and murmurs. It's because the moon is so bright. Her hand reaches out and wraps around my right cheek. They say the moon drives people crazy. Like lunacy? Yeah, we're probably a little crazy, both you and I. Is it that surprising? I was told something crazy, so now I'm crazy. And even then, you still wanted to see me. I wanted to see you even more. What a weirdo. I don't want weird people calling me that. I'm not human. I don't want weird creatures calling me that. With a sigh, I put my hand on Senpai's hand. You aren't human. Words that sound like a soliloquy leak out of my mouth. You aren't human, Senpai. What do you think? What's with this question? Nothing special. I thought you were a normal human being, but I didn't think you were a normal person. What's the opposite of normal? Abnormal? Special. I replied by reflex. Surprised at myself, I break into a cold sweat. Although I usually take it back right away, that's not the case now. I gently take her hand that's resting on my cheek to my chest, and I put my other hand on top of hers. I looked up at the senpai's face and I say again, you're special. To me, senpai is senpai, whether or not you're a human being. That changes nothing for me and I can't help it. There's no expression on her face. We stare at each other for a while, but eventually her hand slips out of mine and puts it around my back. Aren't you scared? Scared of you? Yes. Not at all. Well, not beyond you being an upperclassman. Huh. She takes a long breath and hugs me tightly. I was scared. A faint voice. You were? That's right, because if I showed myself to you like this, what should I do if you reject me? That's a baseless worry. I think you're beautiful. Beautiful. Did you say beautiful? Yes, I mean, no, it's not beautiful as in for people. Well, it's like the beauty of flowers and butterflies. It's just, I get it, but you don't have to be so embarrassed. It's a moonlit night's rendezvous. We don't have time for that now. I know. Let's talk calmly later, but I'm only me. I came because I was happy to be called. You're happy. She lets out a sigh as if a weight has been lifted from her shoulders. She then looks up at the full moon in the sky again and says, night makes people bold. No doubt about it. When tomorrow comes, I might be too embarrassed to see you again. But will there be a tomorrow? She says nothing and I don't say anything either. I love this silence. Let's go, Haruhi-kun. Where to? The hydrangea garden. I couldn't take it easy before. What do you say? Okay, but how do we get there? With my wings. It's very convenient, actually. This is a very... This would save a lot of money, instead of using a car or public transportation. We just fly everywhere, She picks me up and I leave myself to her. My body gently floats in the air and soon my eyes go beyond the roof of the houses. Don't look down. I'm sure you'll be scared. Understood. Then, can I look at you? Wabble. Hey, senpai. The ground and the sky rotate. The lights of the houses trail in circles. I see the night sky in front of me. After regaining her balance, she says, talking is forbidden. Is this a night bus or something? After that, we continue the night flight while chatting. We weave through the clouds and night sky while basking in the full moon. Is basking? Basking, right? Surely if someone looked at us from a distance, we would have become a single dot running through the sky. In fact, the Japanese self-defense force is actually detecting us on the radar, is now shooting anti-air missiles right at us. No? Okay, guess not. We land at the nightly hydrangea garden. The flowers are wet from the rain that fell until evening, and the white moonlight is reflected in the water droplets. Come on, let's walk and look around. She changes into her human form again and turns towards me. Let's chat while we walk. And so we start our final trip back home. We start walking side by side. with a sunny and transparent feeling like the one after rain. I'm not human. Walking next to me, she says suddenly. Well, to be honest, when the rain Ayakashi said that to me, I was convinced pretty quickly. I wonder what that means. She replies with a smile. You're saying that to someone who's been living like a human till now, you know. It didn't really work out well, though. Then, why were you pretending to be human? Did you live here posing as someone else? Senpai has a thoughtful look, then she answers me. I wanted to go out into the world, and I was also interested in people. Is there any reason for that? I'm a well-to-do young lady after all. What's our reaction? It's convincing. Does it fit? It does indeed. You seem to find everything fitting today, but that helps me understand. You had no common sense, or rather you did things that ordinary people wouldn't even think of, so I was rather relieved to hear that. I wonder if it was really that unconventional. Did you think you were pulling off well the whole human thing? I thought so at first. Now that attitude doesn't feel right anymore, does it? Oh, that's right. I was in high spirits when I entered school, but people gradually stopped approaching me. Well, people choose who they want to be friends with. Which one would it be in our case? Which one? What do you mean? You say people choose others. Did I choose you? Or did you choose me? I feel like I can only answer that I chose. Oh, you just said something nice, didn't you? It's the truth. Back during the club members' recruitment day, when I met you for the first time, I wanted to follow you. I was sure you'd take me to a faraway place. And was that prediction correct? Me being here now is the answer. That's right. I too am here now after many sacrifices. Silence descends between us, who are beginning to regain their normal liveliness. That's the truth. Yeah, I'm an existence that shouldn't be anywhere by now. And I can't say anything. I'm not able to condemn you. To be honest, I still can't dislike you. I can't hate you no matter what you've done. I don't want to. It may sound like I'm saying something out of the line, but I'm happy I can meet with you one last time. One last time? Yes, I came here to do that. When I met the Rain Ayakashi, I thought, maybe there are Ayakashi even more dreadful out there, and maybe there are lots of them. That's right. There are many more powerful Ayakashi stronger than him. I see. And all of them may come to get you. Surely. So, today might be our last time. Yes, that's all correct. So, if we meet today and said our farewells, that'll be it. But maybe, we could be together forever. Are you suggesting we should escape? That's sort of what I was thinking. I like the sound of it. That might be nice, but... Then she raises her voice. When I turn around, she's looking up at the moon in the sky. The moon is beautiful. Just as she says, the moon floating in the pitch-black sky is pouring light but while illuminating the clouds of the dark night, it looks like a round hole in the sky. There's another world out there, and its light is leaking out onto the earth. That's the kind of hole the moon is. Why does the moonlight look so lonely? Maybe we're the ones who are lonely. Not the moonlight? We're all lonely. But we usually don't realize or hide it from anyone as we live our lives. But at night the moon shines on it, on the loneliness inside us. Haruya-kun, have you ever felt lonely? Recently, not so much, but I still get that feeling at night. I see. And you? I do feel lonely. After answering immediately, she lowers her eyes. I'm lonely and I feel as though my body is about to collapse any moment. If there's anything I can do. She outstretches her arms, wraps them around my back from the front and hugs me. I want to have you. Then I'll exchange Haruya for senpai. You said it now, no take-backs. She chuckles. Hey Haruya-kun, can you hear? Hear what? It looks like it's going to rain soon. Raindrops fall suddenly. When I look up, the rain clouds that should have cleared earlier are beginning to cover the night sky again. Then what's coming now is... Okay. He's back, the big, giant, silly shark guy that I can never take seriously, to be honest. But, he's apparently the antagonist. That's what I thought. Right? That's what I thought initially, that he was the antagonist. He seemed like he wasn't, because he was kind of like telling us stuff, but no, he is. You bastards! I hear a crackle behind me. The deafening voice of the shark slams down from above onto the ground, the hydrangea swaying the roar of the earth. When I turn around, I'm held in Senpai's chest. Buh? Buh? I don't know what this is supposed to mean. Buh. She mutters something, only one word, but I can't understand it well. The agony of death, a screaming voice in pain. Even though it comes from our enemy, his screams freeze my blood. The changes in the volume and the tone of his voice until the screams faded away seemed to make the contours of death stand out vividly. Then, a sound as if a large amount of water is being thrown on the ground. It's over. Wow, you just OP. You could just do that. Snap a finger and the freaking shark is dead. I guess we're having, fish for dinner. Then she adds, as if remembering, looks like a red spider lily. Did she say bloom? Or maybe break or burst? You know, she did her like special move, you know. Her kamehameha, but like it's not. The exact word doesn't matter anymore. A red spider lily. Do you have any more regrets? Do you want to see one for one last time? Nope, it's okay. Ignore what I said. Rather, let's continue what we were talking about earlier. She says, letting go of my body. Are you talking about escaping? Yeah, I'm calling it an escape, but I have no intention of running away. Do you want to obey the orders, or you want to fight? It doesn't matter, even though we're to obey now. I've harmed Fukai way too much to be forgiven. By Fukai, she refers to Reina Ikashi. She has laid a hand on her compatriot. It's not that we won't run away, it's that we can't run away in the first place. We'll be caught, and even if we resist, we have no chance of winning. And when we're caught, we'll be killed. These are all our options. Are we at a dead end? I don't know what to do. What should I do? I'll follow you. Thank you. Let's see. She changes her appearance into her Ayakashi form, then she picks me up again and we take to the sky. The moon looms over us. It's so close I can see the other side. We arrive at our school. The scenery that I normally see looks completely different within the darkness of the night. When we approach the window of the club room, Senpai strokes the surface of her fingertips. Then I pull the window and open smoothly. The series of movements are natural and fluent, like a ritual. Even the locked door isn't ineffective before you. It's like opening the shell of a clam. That expression gets stuck in my mind. Through the clams having their shells open, the things she has done come to mind. Was there ever a crime done in a locked room in a nationwide murder case? Careful, it's dark. We enter the club room spontaneously without having decided to do so beforehand. I grab the edge of the window with both hands and put my foot in the window frame to climb over. The soles of my shoes touch the wooden floor. After that, I step inside and turn around and see her fluttering like a butterfly. When she enters the room, the outside air blows in, and the darkness inside blends with it. Even breaking in through the window now makes such a difference. Should we turn on the light? I ask, closing the window. It's better if we don't. It'd be troublesome if the light can be seen from the outside. She replies while lowering the key to close the window. Our movements blend together seamlessly like gears in a machine. I'm sure that if I were to start a sentence, she would immediately be able to say the rest of it. This is the sort of sense of unity that envelops us. We face each other in the dark, in the pitch-black club room, Senpai's figure is emitting a mysterious glow. It's strange. What is? Well, we're sneaking to school at night right now. I think it'd be normal to get a little excited, but I'm strangely calm. What are you talking about now? First, you made the rain clear, then we flew into the sky, and you killed a shark. Only after that did we sneak into school at night. True. This has been quite the big adventure. Well, maybe we don't feel it that much because we're too used to being together in the club room like this. Might be that. This room, overflowing with our time spent together, is now connected to this moment as well. The club room is filled with darkness and the heat of the rainy season. We stare at each other in the dark. The darkness envelops us. Our bodies melt into the darkness, and the darkness stretches into us. A faint ray of moonlight seeps into the room through the window. As she grabs my hand, the light of the moon slowly disappears, buried by the cold rain clouds. She takes a step forward, and I don't move. From the front, she then pushes my body towards the wall. I retreat towards the wall without resisting. While following the direction of her strength, I end up leaning against the wall, covered from above by Senpai. This body doesn't have enough strength to hold on anymore. She brings her mouth close to my ear and whispers. The trembling of the thin air is like a caress? Ticklish. Do you understand? So, you want to eat me to make it last longer? You fool. She chuckles. Do you understand? I do. Now it's enough. I say nothing. I don't have to answer. Words exist to communicate with others, but when your relationship with someone is deep, you need less words. This is our case too. A critical place, a singularity, or a literature club room. The air is slightly disturbed. A warm breath flows down my neck. It's probably an unspoken sigh. Outside, the rain continues to fall like a soft noise. It's a sound of silence. She brings her mouth close to my ear. The touch of her hair on my cheek is ticklish. Again, she doesn't have a mouth though. Unless this giant circle is a mouth, it's kind of creepy when you think if that's the case. Anyway, we keep our faces together for a while, listening to each other's breathing. Now the moon is swallowed by clouds. The moonlight is gone, and a narrow room is overflowing with darkness. Something hard touches the upper edge of my ear, inside which is made of cartilage. My tactile sense that's become sharp in the darkness now sharpens further all the nerves of the ear. I can feel a solid touch behind my ear. Soon the pressure loosens up. The seams of my body might just collapse and vaporize. That's how I feel. Usually we don't notice, but our bodies are truly heavy, and there's nothing you can do about that. If you have a body, you can go anywhere on Earth. With some ingenuity, you can fly in the sky and dive deep in the sea. But without a body, you can go even further. As I was thinking all that, a weight was suddenly added to my body. It has body heat and is breathing. The body is indeed heavy, and rightfully so, I think. Is it painful? No, not at all. We all have a body. I'm sure that's why we can feel each other's hearts in pain. But because of that very body, we can never be one of someone. When we are born, we become a single individual, and we live alone forever. In this lukewarm, damp darkness, those walls dissolve. Just like shadows blending together, our boundaries become ambiguous. Where does it end for me, senpai, in the darkness that fills this room? My body is flowing. It's like being in warm water. Is my blood rushing to my head? Is my consciousness hazy? Or is maybe my soul trying to escape? Anything is fine. For now, I am me and I am here. For now. Senpai, are you here? When I ask, she raises her upper body. With a desire to touch her, I stretch out my arm toward her. My hand touches her cheek. I am. She says with her familiar voice, she takes my hand and shakes it, redirecting it somewhere. It's pulsating. Warm blood circulates through her palm. How long will you be here? I'll be here forever. What about you? I'll stay here until the end. She approaches me again. I whisper in her ear as I wrap my arms around her back. Senpai. What? I like you. Oh, I didn't realize we're on the floor, by the way. I thought the description was that we were against the wall, but no, she's just on top of us. Anyway. But yeah. I like you. Suki desu. Thank you. I'm very happy. I'm so happy. Me too. I love you. I love everything. Your taste too. Nope. Oh, it just ends there. Okay. Interesting. I guess that's sort of considered the kind of like the bad ending in a way. I'm not exactly sure what was meant by that. I mean, did she eat us? It was kind of like stated, but like I didn't think it was going in that direction technically because, you know, the whole love thing. So I didn't think she was actually eating him. It's more so that they were embracing each other one final time before, you know, more Ayakashi show up and freaking murder them, I'm assuming. That's what I understand from that ending, maybe? I don't know. Could be a translation thing as well. I do notice the translation is slightly off. I mean, as you notice there, you know, like, technically we were pushed against the wall, but like in the CG, we were pushed against the floor, actually. So like it's different for some reason. So I think there is some kind of like loss in translation. It's mostly fine though. There's no like, I mean, there's a few typos here and there, but like the most of the translation seems okay. You know, it does translate the meaning correctly. But is that it? Does it just end there? You know, I feel like we were about to have the sexy times. No, but like, don't worry about it. Oh, extra scene. Oh, there's an extra scene. Okay. All right, there you go. So it just ends there. I mean, I guess that's also kind of like a tragic ending as well, you know, because they get together, but like, I think the idea is that, you know, because they get together, both of them can't survive, right? That's the idea. The other ending was also kind of tragic, but also kind of happy in the sense that at least they live. Is the idea. I mean, assumably she lives. Not really sure about that, but I'm assuming she lives. But they forget each other. Also, why is everything so like glitchy? I wonder, like intentionally. I guess there's the extra scene. Where's the extra scene? Let me see that extra scene. What is it? Oh, okay. It's just extra. Okay. So you're the kind of person who reads manga in the literature club, huh? Manga is literature. Reading manga is still reading. Somebody had a chair right next to me. It was peering through the manga magazine I had opened. Manga? I was troubled because of a nice smell. I wonder why the main characters in manga often have scars on their bodies, she muttered, staring at the character in the panel. Is that a mark? It means you have a special power. Senpai took her eyes off the manga, crossed her arms and legs, and began to think about something. It's probably not a good thing, so I poked her. What are you scheming now? I want to mark you too. What are you saying, marking? I'm not a dog, but I love dogs. After a conversation without context, Senpai brought her head close to me again. When she peered in the manga, her silky hair hung over my wrists. Aren't you going to turn the page? She looked at me with a sideways glance. I was just thinking. Yes, about me? That too. Her eyes widened in surprise. I guess my comment was unexpected. Can't you tell me? After some hesitation, I decided to nod. My body, too, has a scar. Huh? Oh, that's... Can I ask why? Sure, otherwise I wouldn't be telling you. She nodded. I had a big surgery when I was a child. I have a scar on my back. On your back? Yes, I can't show it to you, though. True that. You can't because you look too sexy. Is that comment appropriate? Is this sexual harassment? No, I continue talking while wondering. After surgery, I was convalescent for a while. It was during that time that I picked up reading. My love for books started there. So this means that scar is your reason for joining this club. You could say that. That's right, Senpai muttered deeply. It's the first time I told anyone about this. Huh? I'm the first? Yes, at least the first time since middle school. That makes me happy. But why'd you tell me? Why? Yep, because you're the type to think before talking. Well, maybe I wanted you to know. I tried my best to mumble as if it was someone else's problem. If not, I'd be even more embarrassed than I already was. Was that payback for the information about me liking dogs? You think? I say the price and cost proportion isn't evenly matched. Proportion, huh? In that case, I'll accept any question from you. I'll answer anything openly. Then, what's your type? Of dog? The kind of dog over there, she said, narrowing her eyes. That's what I like. A book lover that's surprisingly not obedient and that likes lollipops, dogs with surgical scars on their backs. I'm not a dog. I know, you're my kohai. I didn't mention names, I was talking about dogs. Right. I directed my eyes to the magazine again. The story, which started with the scars of a fictional character, passed through the scar on my back and ended up with a story about dogs. Senpai's arm suddenly wrapped around my back. A heart tightened from being hugged from behind. What is it? I'm thinking of the scar on your back. I looked sideways at her, who had her eyes closed. So pretty, I thought. This person is beautiful. My story, was it that interesting? Yeah. Oh, but that's because it's about you. She snuggled up to me. Your back brought you to this literature club room. It's almost poetic. That's how it feels. She released me from her embrace. She then put her hand between the back of the chair and my back, letting her fingertips slide down the back of my uniform. Strangely enough, the trajectory of her finger accurately traced my surgical scar. Then she hugged my back again, showed me tighter than before, an embrace filled with loving strength. Maybe I'll think about the scar on your back many times from now on. My whole body was stiff, down to my fingertips, and my heart was beating loudly. We were close to each other like never before. And the fact that I was thinking about the wound on my back, which is related to my foundation as a human being, made the deepest part of my core shake. Letting go of me, she closed her eyes and muttered as if recalling a distant memory. If a person had wings, they would probably grow on their backs. Why she suddenly say such a thing, I couldn't know. I never even thought of imagining the scar as a wing. Scar was a scar. Senpai was the first to liken it to a wing. The magazine fell on my hand. Both hands free, and I touched her arm. End of May. Dull, cloudy sunlight was streaming into the room through the windows. The rainy season is coming, I thought. The rainy season with Senpai. Okay, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. It's just an extra scene, extra level like characterization, I guess. Makes it, I guess, kind of more tragic in a way, because they did have a close relationship. But yeah, that's it. It seems like. Also, no glitchy main menu anymore, it seems like. Which I say glitchy, but like, intentionally glitchy. I wonder if that's just a way to show that, you can look at the extra scene. Yeah, I guess that's it. Hello, Fishy, by the way. You kind of missed the entire, story, but again, you can watch this later if you want. But there you go. That's the entire game. So yeah, I mean, I guess let me just, summarize my thoughts about it. It's alright, I mean, the general character design looks okay, it looks like it's drawn well for the most part. The UI is professional. Though this font is I feel like a little silly, they use this kind of like weird Asian font, that's not really meant for like actually like a professional font. I feel like, I don't know. It's like Comic Sans in a way, but for the most part, it's alright. I mean, the actual like font for like reading is okay. So at least that's fine. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, I don't know. It's like, I like the general idea. I actually do like the endings, to be honest. I tend to not like romance genre. So I don't like cheesy romance. And the game does kind of go towards that direction near the end. But it's actually framed in a very tragic way, which I do like. I don't know. I'm a sucker for like tragedy. I don't know why. I like it when bad things happen to characters, and not because I'm like sadistic necessarily, but it adds depth to the story, right? When like it's more relatable when like the characters just don't have I just do this thing. I'm happy now. Hooray! All right, everything's great. I have a more pessimistic view of like the world, I feel like, and I like reading tragic stories because it feels more relatable. I don't know. Even though it's not exactly, it's not like, sometimes it's not because of the exact tragedy that happens to me in real life necessarily, but a similar, feeling. Or like, sometimes sad things happen in life, but, that's okay, right? I don't like it when people just like sweep like sad or tragic things under the carpet and it's like, oh, whatever, we got over it, I don't like those endings. I like this kind of ending, But I do feel like the story is a little, in terms of pacing though, it's a little all over the place, right? Because there's definitely like scenes where it's like focusing on their relationship, right? And that's fine. But then it suddenly jumps in like the supernatural, and there's like a giant shark, and she's from a different world, and she transforms into a butterfly woman. It's like, I feel like it's also suddenly like this visual novel could be tagged as like Monster Girl. As it turns out, you're dating a monster girl in a way. I don't know. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place, and it's like I don't know why they felt the need to introduce the supernatural elements like that strongly. It could be like a little bit in the background. I feel like, the whole fact that she's from another world, that she has a different form and all that. I wish it was a little bit more subtle instead of just being explained like right near the beginning by a giant floating shark, with human teeth. That feels a little bit like ham-fisted. I think that's the right word for it. A little bit on the nose. Like it's way too like, there's no mystery, right? There's no tension. There's no like, oh, what if she's this or what if she's that? There's not, all of it's gone if a random giant shark just tells you everything. It's like, what's the point? It's like, I don't know. Like, I get it. It's supposed to set up the idea that you might distrust her, like she's a murderer or whatever, is the idea. But I feel like it could have been done in a more subtle way. I don't know. Like clues, like stuff like that, right? Just little hints, little things instead of just being told it, right? That's, again, it depends, I guess, but like I do feel this story kind of like broke a rule in terms of just simply telling us the story instead of like showing us the story, Like it could have been like him just figuring out stuff as he goes along, right? Instead of like, again, just being told by a giant shark. And another thing is why I wish the giant shark wasn't a giant shark. The giant shark dude is just like not scary at all. I mean, I guess the idea of it could be scary. If I met like a giant floating shark that would eat me alive, I guess I would like piss my pants. But like in a story though, I don't know. It's just not very convincing because it's just kind of silly. I feel like if you wanted to be a little bit more convincing and a little bit more mysterious, instead of a freaking giant shark, the giant shark could also take a human form, right? And it'll be like this guy. It could be a guy, it could be a girl as well. In fact, it's kind of interesting, right? It could be like a love triangle in a way, but like it could be like a shark girl. I was kind of joking about that, but I think it would work actually, like a shark anime girl that like would transfer in, and it would cause some love triangle hijinks, but also she's trying to manipulate the main character into distrusting his senpai. Right? And that would be kind of cool, right? Some intrigue, some like mystery, some romance even, and drama, right? That kind of thing, like human conflict. Instead of like, I don't know, her transforming into like a butterfly and then fighting the shark, which to be fair, we didn't do much of that. So I guess it's okay because we didn't really focus on that too much. So I think that's fine, but still, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of like resorting to like magic fights, Dragon Ball Z style fights, It's like kind of boring in my opinion when it's just like focused on that, especially as a visual novel, I feel like if you're doing like an action thing, it's more enjoyable if it's, animated, like an anime even in manga. I tend not to read like battle action manga all that much because I don't know, I guess my imagination is like horrible, but like I like seeing it like still images just doesn't really make me all that excited, I mean, I guess the exception would be One Punch Man. I like One Punch Man, but that's beyond just action. I like it beyond, just the fights. It's also because of the themes. But anyway, but yeah. So again, overall, I feel like the game it's weirdly paced. The tone is a little bit off, but I like the idea. I like the general thing they were going for and how like it's a tragedy and all that. So I like that. So, it's interesting. I mean, obviously the ending where he forgets about her, that's tragic in its own way. And obviously the other ending where I wasn't sure what it was trying to imply. And I think it's because of some of the bit of the translation, but I think it was implying that they would just simply, basically just make out, like they're going to make out and, whatever. And it's just so they can be together one more time, before they get killed by like other monsters, I'm assuming. I think that's what it was. I think that's the idea. It's supposed to be another kind of tragedy where they do end up together, but they both die anyway. And I think it's the idea. Still kind of ambiguous though. She did say like, are you gonna, he said, well, are you gonna eat me? And then she says, you're a fool. Like, I don't think he was gonna eat her or eat him. That doesn't make sense to me. It wouldn't make sense for her to actually eat him, and like take his life energy. That wouldn't make sense. I think it is just, they simply just, quote unquote cuddled, before they die, I'm assuming. That was not very clear, right? Because it just fades out from then. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, what else? I mean, I do like some of the writing. Again, even though the pacing, the tone is a little bit off, and I do feel like, not that I can do better necessarily, but I do wish the story was written more subtly. I do like some parts of it, some of the mystery parts, especially some of the conversations with the main character, like senpai, she's like interesting, so like that's interesting too. And even though the romance parts was cheesy, it wasn't too flowery, which is good actually. I don't know, maybe it's because of the translation actually, but like for the most part, they were using simple language, which is actually preferable, funnily enough. I feel like a lot of visual novels, especially indie visual novels, when they write for it, they use way too flowery language, they make it way too poetic, and they make it way too like elaborate. And this one, and again, I think it's because of a translation, so they couldn't really translate everything. All the meanings and hidden meanings, double meanings from Japanese, I'm assuming, into English, but because of that, they use much more simpler language, which is actually nicer because it's easier to read, and therefore it actually is better pacing, I feel, overall. Even though, again, some parts of it I didn't really like, but overall, I think the writing is good. I think for the most part. I guess the only thing I don't like, again, the supernatural elements, where it feels phoned in, especially the part where she's like, what was it like? Winged Ayakashi, Red Queen, Crimson, whatever. I don't know. She's like a JoJo stand, you know. Her name is like too long. It's just kind of silly. That's kind of silly as well. I don't know why. I don't know why they had like put that in. You know, I think I feel like a lot of visual novels are popular based on that trope, right? Where like the main love interest, usually female, is some otherworldly like creature, and that she's magical and like she has superpowers for some reason. I don't know why, but it's like that's very popular for like a visual novel. You know, it's like that meme. You know, isn't that like the meme? Like a typical male fantasy. You know, is to have an overpowered anime girl where she can beat up your enemies. You know, I don't know. That's like a very common trope. I feel like. Again, Fate Stay Night comes to mind, even though technically that story was supposed to subvert that like, expectation of like a super powerful girl, technically. But, you know, it's kind of like that, right? Whereas, like, for the most part, the dude doesn't really do much. He's just there as a way to, like, have a crush on the girl, and the girl is, like, the actual character does everything. And sometimes they ruin those stories. I'm looking at you, Shakuga no Shana, which I like that anime initially, but then by the second season, it's all about how she's, like, thirsty, you know, for the main character, and that ruins it. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, okay. Well, let me summarize those. Overall, pretty interesting. It's decent. It's decent. You know, maybe you like it better than I do, because I definitely, it's kind of like a preference thing. Because there's some parts I don't like. Again, the supernatural parts, but maybe you like that. You know, maybe you're into that. So maybe you like it more than I did. But I still overall liked it though. Anyway, I guess that's it for Absent in the Rain. I guess if you are, you know, want to look for more content, then don't forget to click that subscribe button. You can also find other videos on my channel. And if you didn't know, I also stream these games live, so you can always change your bell notifications from personalized to all if you want to get notified when I go live. There you go. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you then.